video taken at the scene. We begin with the skies overhead following the collapse of the World Trade Center. First, you see the dust, the debris, the mounds of dust on the cars. Again, this video comes from amateur videographers looking not unlike what you might imagine in a bombed-out Beirut. Again, the only thing to compare this video to that we have ever seen in this country, the bombing of the Murrah Federal Building where 168 people were killed, as we've been pointing out today. Casualties expected to go much higher in the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center. 266 people on board the two aircraft that hit the towers. The fact that it is silent makes it all the more eerie. And you will notice, in as crowded a place as Lower Manhattan is, not a soul to be seen. We have more video for you now. This of the firefighters in the aftermath of what you saw there, trying to sift through the debris. The skies blackened. That debris you see from the buildings, from the offices. This is our home. And there you saw on the lamppost there the American flag flying. Remember that scene. Smoke, dust, debris. Still hard to imagine that that's New York City. That's Manhattan Island. And again, there's that flag still flying on a lamppost in the shadow of what was the World Trade Center. All right, we've talked a lot about blood donations today. More will be needed tomorrow. In fact, we were told earlier today by a Red Cross official that much more blood will be needed tomorrow. That's the kind of response they've gotten at blood donation centers today. People filling out cards, their names, their addresses, their phone numbers. Again, the sign tells the story. They can't take more blood today. They will need it tomorrow. There is no telling how much more blood they will need. They told us today that type O blood especially is in short supply. If you know your blood type, you know your type O, please, if you can, make a donation. I have a list of permanent blood donation centers you can go to tomorrow to help out. And I know people are looking for some way to help out. In Manhattan at 310 East 67th Street between 1st and 2nd Avenues, 150 Amsterdam Avenue between 67 and 66th Streets. In Brooklyn, 120 Lawrence Street near Metro Tech. On Staten Island, blood donations can be made at 1625 Forest Avenue. Also on Long Island, a series of blood donation centers, 2500 Marcus Avenue, 3125 Veterans Highway in Bohemia, 333 Merrick Road at Rockville Center, Route 110 North, Melville, Huntington, and also in Westchester. Donations of blood can be made, 525 Executive Boulevard in Elmsford. We have one more in New Jersey, 167 New Street, New Brunswick. Blood donations can be made. Also, as we've been gathering information here at the Info Center throughout the evening, we have been telling you in various ways how the nation is responding. Just a couple of quick notes before we send it back to the desk. Kmart stores today temporarily removed all guns and ammunition from store shelves at some 2,100 stores nationwide in response to what happened today here in New York and in Washington, D.C. A spokesperson said the safety of the customers, the first priority. Again, concerns about further attacks as a result of what happened today. Also, firefighters from Salt Lake City and Los Angeles will come to New York to assist in the World Trade Center rescue and recovery efforts. Those people already on the way. A group of firefighters known as Utah Task Force 1 being deployed by FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Agency. That group specializes in finding people trapped in collapsed buildings. And also one note from the nation of Israel. Israel has closed its airspace to foreign planes, evacuated staff from diplomatic missions and Jewish institutions around the world. Again, Israeli officials say they are assuming that Islamic extremists are responsible for the attack on the United States. All speculation at this point, as well as U.S. intelligence, points to Osama bin Laden hiding somewhere in Afghanistan. Earlier tonight, President George W. Bush saying there will be no differentiation between the attackers themselves and those who harbor those attackers. That is the latest from the Info Center. Now back to the desk, Ernie and Angela.
And thank you, Ton, for the information.
Just a quick note. Ernie just mentioned a bunch of phone numbers that the Port Authority had given out. Just so you know, those phone numbers and any commuter information, you can find them on our website. That's cbsnewyork.com. And it's at a link called Information You Need to Know. Again, our website is cbsnewyork.com. You can link up to information you need to know, all the Port Authority phone numbers and commuter information.
Right now, we're going to Mayor Giuliani right now live for an update on what's going on, and let's listen in.
Go out to them, and every effort is being made tonight to try to recover as many people as possible. We were down at the scene. It's a horrific sight, but there are thousands and thousands of emergency workers down there. We've gotten a tremendous amount of help and assistance. In fact, we actually probably have more equipment than we need at this point. We're very grateful for it, and it'll be stored in areas, and probably over the next 2 or 3 days we will need it. And we'll do everything we can to support the efforts of the people who are trying to recover people from the debris and the horror that's taken place down there. The number to call if you have questions. I'm not sure we can answer all of your questions, but at least we can try to answer it. Is 1-212-560-2730. That's 1-212-560-2730. If you have questions throughout the night and tomorrow, that's the number to call rather than 911, which you should just call if there is an emergency. We had over 1,100 emergency room visits today that we know of. So far, we have 6 fatalities that we know of, 5 at St. Vincent's. Obviously and tragically, there are going to be a lot more than that, but that's what we know of at this point. We had over 300 patients that were treated at St. Vincent's, over 160 at Bellevue, 250 at Beekman Downtown Hospital. And the hospital, these hospitals were probably the ones under the most stress, but they were able to get through. I want to thank all the people that helped St. Vincent's getting the water that they needed and the support that they needed. Also, I'd like to say to people that might consider doing this that services should be made available in New York City tomorrow on a fair and equitable basis. Anybody that thinks that they're going to gouge consumers or ask for extra amounts of money for food or anything else, we're going to have the police and the Consumer Affairs Department out there. So just be careful. This is a time in which we all have to cooperate and help each other. Alternate side street parking is suspended. Sanitation services will take place in most of the city, except obviously in the lower part of Manhattan, where the sanitation department will be working to remove debris, which has already started. And the schools, again, will be closed tomorrow. And hopefully we'll get them open as soon as possible. Tomorrow the effort will be at trying to recover as many people as possible and trying to clean up the horrible mess that was created by all of this. And I would ask people to cooperate as much as possible in that effort. If you have to come into Manhattan because your business is essential, then obviously do it. The upper part of Manhattan will be open. But if tomorrow is a day in which you want to stay home and stay with your family and give comfort and support maybe to other people that have been affected by this, it would be a good day to do that. Yeah, the point that Richie Shearer makes is people are wonderful, and I mean this in the best sense of the word. We've had thousands and thousands of people that have come to help us. When I was down at the site near the World Trade Center, I met a lot of the National Guard's people that the governor has sent, really wonderful young men and women. We have enough volunteers now. We have more volunteers, frankly, than we need at this point. And what we need to do is to focus the efforts of the professionals that are there in being able to do the recovery and try to save as many lives as we can and restore services as quickly as possible. We may be asking for more volunteers tomorrow and the next day and the day after, but right now we don't need any more volunteers.
Mr. Mayor, is there still hope that there are people who are
Yes.
still alive and well?
Yes, there's hope. There's hope that there are people that are still alive.
How is
And
the rescue effort hampered by the darkness? What do you do?
We moved a lot of lights in so that the area is being lit now, so that I don't think the rescue effort is going to be hampered by the darkness. The rescue effort is hampered by the fact that there's still fire there. There are still unsound structures, and it's still dangerous, although the rescue effort is now taking place. But if you're asking me, is it hampered? It's hampered because of the conditions, not because of the nighttime.
Is there a long procession of heavy bulldozers and other heavy construction equipment making its way down to lower Manhattan? What is that going to be used for?
That's going to be used to move debris out of the way so that the emergency vehicles can get in and out quickly, so that we can get the ambulances in a more expeditious fashion than we've been able to do. And I want to thank the Deputy Mayor Rudy Washington, who has spent most of the day coordinating, getting all of that emergency equipment in the right place, ready to move. If you go along Houston Street, you'll see hundreds and hundreds of pieces of equipment that are lined up to move in and to take debris out. And now they've started doing that. And I think that's probably what you observed. You probably observed them starting the.
Are you concerned about the city tonight in light of all of the things that have happened during the daylight hours today?
Am I concerned from the point of view of the actions and activities of the people of the city? The police department is out in large numbers. You want to explain the force that you have out there? And no, I'm not concerned. But
we're pretty much out in full force this evening. Southern Manhattan, as you know, we're primarily concentrating on the rescue efforts. The rest of the city is basically, some of the entry points are shut down. The tunnels are shut down. As of midnight, there will be no more traffic coming into Southern Manhattan from 14th Street. We're going to shut that down. I think the city's pretty secure, and we're going to continue doing what we're doing in the rescue effort, and just hope for the best.
Have you seen reports of lawlessness, any reports of any looting or anything?
Absolutely not. There's been no reports of looting or any other problems out of the ordinary. And as I said, the boroughs are working pretty normally, and so far so good.
Mayor, did you see the president's comments tonight, and have you spoken to him against it?
no, I spoke to him earlier today, and I only heard the very end of his comments because I was coming back from the World Trade Center.
I'm sorry, he said thousands to die.
I don't know the number at this point. That may be very well be the case. At this point, we're still in the effort of trying to recover people. I don't know the numbers yet, but I mean, this is going to be, as I said, the numbers are going to be very, very high.
Mr. Mayor,
just if you think of the number of people that were in the building at the time, we've been spending time with the medical examiner, who, by the way, was injured himself, and so Dr. Hirsch was injured and had to be treated, but he's organized his office, and they are ready to deal with thousands and thousands of bodies if they have to.
Mr. Mayor, earlier in the day,
And we'll give them the support and the help to do that.
In the rescue effort? Dr. Hirsch?
He was down there, yes. He got injured. I mean, he's okay, but he's obviously he was hurt. I mean, he was beaten up pretty badly. His body hurts, and
He was beaten up?
well, no, I mean he got hit with debris. No one beat him up. He got hit. He described it that way. I said, "How do you feel, Dr. Hirsch?" He said, "I got pretty beaten up." And then what happened is he got hit with debris.
Mr. Mayor, earlier in the day, you weren't sure exactly what the radius of damage was like, what blocks were involved, how much debris had fallen on surrounding areas.
If you go down there now, the last time I saw it was when I was leaving this morning. It's horrendous. I mean, it's filled with debris. It's filled with dust. It's going to be a heck of a cleanup effort.
How far down? Battery Park City, was that affected?
Well, the power is out in the lower part of Manhattan on the west side. So there is no power at this point. So that's why we had to bring in the lights to light up the area so that they can do the rescue effort. And the